just a thought that I just had, and I think that it's something that needs to be said, for people not in the loop. You cannot solve racism. It cannot be solved because you have to understand the nature of human beings and humanity. I always talk about white people having a superiority complex. Now, this isn't a thing of like, oh my gosh, white people are evil and so forth. I'm just talking facts. So either you want to accept the facts or you want to be ignorant and hand yourself. But I'm just going to just spit facts right now. You see, for people wanting, equality, a dream of a time where, a black girl and a white girl, a black guy and a white guy can sort of, hold hands together as friends and look at each other as equals. That's a pipe dream. It's not steeped in reality because white people have a superiority complex and they need that superiority complex. It is very difficult for a white person to genuinely look at a black person as an equal. So I'm not talking about the guys who are the uber racist in your face, just your white liberal, your white moderate, your white guy that is willing to talk to black people and so forth. It is difficult for them to view the black person as an equal based on the kind of social engineering they've grown up with, the way that media has portrayed black and whites, and the way that they have been presented in society as opposed to black people in society. So, for a lot of white people, as hard as they want to try, it is hard for them to look at the black person and say, oh no, that person is my equal. They're the same as me. And for a lot of white people as well, whether they want to admit it or not, they need that superiority complex. They need that feeling of, yeah, I'm better than this person. So me helping them out, I'm doing them a favor. I am coming down from my high horse to help them. So when I just see black people trying to just solve racism and say, let's try and fulfill Martin Luther King's dream. Let's we become all together as one. We are one race, the human race. I'm like, you're talking bullcrap. That's complete and utter bullcrap because that's not steeped in reality. And I think the issue with a lot of people is that they don't want to accept reality because reality hurts and reality is the painful truth. And the painful truth is human beings are human beings. Human beings lost for power, human beings lost for control, and equality is an illogical concept with regards to human beings and humanity. It just doesn't make sense. There has to always be a pyramid structure. There has to always be someone on top. I was even talking to my boy Sharif, and it was us that we were talking about it like last year, where there has to be somebody who's in power. Hence why I always say for black people, especially or like black people in America, you have two options. Either you go to war to destroy that structure, or you create your own structure. To think you're going to get equality in that structure, you're bogus. Because the whole point, and this is the sad thing, there is no structure that exists where everybody's equal. No, that is not how the human race works. Sorry. The human race works where someone is in power, someone is in control, someone is deemed as better. And because this is a white man's world and white men worked hard to rule the world, not only for themselves, for generations after, and through colonization and careful, meticulous control and manipulation of other nations. Hence why they've created a world this is the white man's world. Like the white man is the most powerful person. I always say that, white men rule the world, white women control it because women control men. It is what it is. Men always want to try and appease and please women. That's just how the man-woman dynamic works. So, because look, years ago, before when I was young, I used to feel like if oh no, we're all the same, friends with everyone. I think that's we could like why can't you all get along? Why and that's just me as a young person, as a young, very naive person who thought that yes, racism can be healed. Like all because my skin is black and your skin is white. Why should we be any different? But as I've grown and so forth and learnt about just humanity, how the mind works and how people works is no, 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 no. Racism will always exist in some concept. It will always exist in a certain concept. And specifically in the world that we're living in, that is the white man's world that was built and cultivated by and manipulated by them. It is what it is. It is via their rules. So, and this is the key thing for, and I'm speaking to black people now. You have to ask yourselves this. To those your white friends that you have, and this is just a deep question you have to ask yourself. That white friend that you have, do they really see you as an equal? As well, I mean, maybe they do, but that's just something you have to ask them. So just black guys right now, when you just go down and think to yourself, or next time you speak to your white friend or so forth, just think to yourself that just play back conversations, play back scenarios and so forth, and just say to yourselves that does this guy truthfully see me as this is my equal, or deep down is he aware that I'm white, I'm black? Doesn't mean that we're any less friends. We're still good friends. But I'm a white guy in a white man's world, and he's a black guy in a white man's world. And he understands and knows of that his superiority. It's a key subliminal subconscious thing, and it's that subconscious that says it is impossible for racism not to exist, and it is extremely naive and foolish to think that white people will give up their power. Hence, that's what I was talking to my boy about. Why would white people want to give up their privilege? Is that when black guy says, white people, you should think about your white privilege and you should feel guilty about it. Why should they feel guilty about it? It's like, I mean, yeah, acknowledge it, but why should they feel guilty about it or give it up? No, you have to fight for it. I'm not going to give it up. If you want it, fight me for it. I just want to just say, man, I feel so guilty my white privilege. I'm going to just take it all away and we're going to now be on equal footing. No. Their forefathers fought to create a world where they benefit and they have more privilege than you. The world is dog eats dog. The world is dog eats dog. So yeah, that was just my thoughts. Because I think the thoughts came to me when I just looking at whenever I see this Martin Luther King quotes come through about I have a dream, blah blah. And the thing about Martin Luther King was that the amazing thing about King was he was an individual that put his neck out there to try and change things, and it's cost him his life. So that's what makes him an amazing man. That he really put himself out there to try and help black people in America. And also, you have to look at more of his quotes rather than the quotes that your teachers give you. But the annoying thing is whenever you see these quotes about I have a dream that blah blah blah. Say no, that's the whole point. It was a dream that wasn't steeped in reality. Like there was no, and I think Martin Luther King towards the end of his life, he realized that yeah, man, there's no changing these white dudes. Like I'm fighting and losing fights of that fight of thinking that we can be equal. I just need to just fight to just sort of get my black people in a better standing. But this whole thing of it's white, black, is that leftist, hipster, foolish thinking that people spout to make themselves feel good. They don't really want equality. So those white leftists that say, oh yeah, I love Martin Luther King, blah blah, we should all up together. They don't really want equality. They just want to make themselves feel good and regurgitating Martin Luther King quotes and just say, yeah, let's be together. I love you, my black friend, and so forth. That just makes them feel good. But it's like, oh, do you really love me? Do you really want to see me as an equal? Do you want us on equal standings? No. Because I want my privileges and I want to feel superior, whether in a conscious or subconscious sense. So yeah, that's just my thoughts, Phil. I want to hear what you guys think about that, man. Like that vid, so peace out.